But there's an interesting question about skill versus evocation, because not everything has to be really hard to be powerful. In fact, some things can be very powerful and not that hard in the like, because if you think about 16th century paintings, those ones that look hyper realistic.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, where it's like a court and you can see fabric and it looks like you can touch it.
Yeah.
They're crazy realistic.
Yeah.
That's a skill, and Picasso may or may not have had that skill. I don't know. And you could say that it's harder to do what the 16th century painters were doing than what Picasso was doing. I also don't know, but I also don't know if it matters.
Sure.
And so I was talking with somebody about blues the other day, because blues is like this thing in Austin. Blues at its root is pretty basic, but what I think blues has is it has this potential to reach like emotional heights or something like that are insane. So like I've watched some B.B. King blues performances where he'll do just a simple blues tune, but he'll do it for 20 minutes, the same tune.
Yeah.
And it starts off and it's just so small. It's just this little thing.
Yeah.
And it's so controlled. And by the end, everybody on stage is just wailing. And he like falls over and his band picks him up and he's like, "Oh, help me," kind of a thing. But it's amazing. And like you're there with him and you've been taken to this height. Yeah. You started from such a small little grain, and it's just this 12-bar cycle that just repeats over and over and over and over and over and over.
But you could argue, if we look at it from a Western classically trained perspective, that's an incredible use of dynamic, articulation,
absolutely,
textures, orchestration. Like
I mean, most musicians I know can't do that kind of thing. Not like that.
It is, but what I would argue though too is that maybe a musician like that wouldn't be drawn to all idioms, but someone that's capable of that in any style could probably pull it off. Like I'm saying, it's the same level of execution. Like
right.
B.B. King is probably the same as a concert pianist.
Right. That's what I'm saying is, so a Rachmaninoff piano concerto is technically more complex and a lot harder in a way than what he's doing, or in a lot of ways. But exactly, they've both achieved this level of mastery of what they're doing. So it doesn't matter that one is harder than the other.
It's apples to oranges at that point.
Right.